Welcome. In this video, we're going to do a tutorial solo playthrough of the ZORRO Dice Game. So the ZORRO Dice Game is published by Pull the Pin Games. The base is for 2 to 6 players, lasts about 15 to 30 minutes, but with the Heroes and Villains expansion, it does provide for solo play and up to 8 players. So we're going to go through a solo playthrough here, explaining the game. For setup, we're just going to choose a meeple. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to choose this guy because he does have a little white beard, which resembles mine. From all the cards out there, we're going to look through them for any symbols that has 2 dots on it or more and remove those. So we're going to have 2 common equipment. So we're losing a donkey and a rose. 2 premium equipment, losing some restraints and a carriage. And then we've got 3 villains and a scoundrel. So we'll be removing these from the game. Then with the remaining ones, we're going to separate the scoundrels and villains of each type. Just randomize those and place them out with their 2 hero dice. So scoundrels, villains, and do that for the red also. And the blues. Take the premium equipment, give them a shuffle. Common equipment, give them a shuffle. Then we're going to deal out 9 of those. So 1, 2, 3. And basically, the equipment is going to give us extra dice of a certain color or some abilities to manipulate some of our dice. So you can see the different things we can possibly get here. So we're just going to put these out on the table. Like so. Then we are going to take our heroic feats, give them a shuffle, and place one of these on top of each of those common equipment. And that will be set up for the game. So thematically what's happening is Zorro is getting ready for retirement and he is looking for a replacement. So we are going to be trying to prove our worth by completing some of these heroic feats with the end goal of taking down a villain. So what we're going to need to do that, we need at least 3 of the same color. So we got fortunate here. We got 4 blues out here, 3 reds, then a yellow and a green. Once we complete 2 of the same color, we will face off on a scoundrel. Then once we get 3 of the same color, we will go after the villain. And that also gets us some additional heroic dice. So there is a difference. The heroic dice basically has 3 dice faces. So it's going to have the Zorro symbol, which is a taunt, sword symbol, which is a thrust, and then one of the 4 others. So blue is leaping, red is charm, green is dashing, and yellow is grabbing. Then we have our basic Zorro dice, which has the taunt, thrust, and then 1 each of the 4 different colors. The basic gameplay of this is we're going to take our token, go to a location. So we'll decide we're going to go recover the stolen jewels. So what we need to do is roll 2 leaps and 2 dashes. And if we complete that, we are going to gain some equipment. So our horseshoes will allow us to turn a leap into a charm for the rest of our heroic feats. And this is very Yahtzee-like. We're going to get 3 rolls to get what we need. So basically on our turn, we've got 3 steps, travel. We're deciding to go recover the stolen jewels. We're going to attempt rolling the dice, just like Yahtzee. We've got 3 rolls to get the dice we need to complete the heroic feat. And then we will collect our treasure. So we'll go ahead and get started here. We'll take the 6 Zorro dice. We're looking for 2 blues and 2 greens. Right off the bat, we have the 2 leaps, but no green. So 2 more dice or rolls. There we've got 1 dash and Now we just need one more. And we did not get it, so we failed that. And then the solo version, that just means this feat goes away and we lose that equipment. But we're not going to be discouraged. We're going to run over here and try to rescue our horse Tornado. So we need 2 leaps and 2 charms to get this. And if we complete that, we get a torch, which allows us to use a hero die no one has claimed until the end of this turn. So if we get that, we get to choose one of these dice to roll on our next turns. So 2 charms and 2 leaps needed here. Oh, there's our 2 leaps. And we have 1 charm. So 2 more rolls to get 1 more charm. And now we've got it. So that means we rescue Tornado. We'll keep this. So for our next turn, I think we are going to try an unnecessary swinging entrance. We need 2 leaps, 2 dashes, and if we get this, we get a rope, which allows us to re-roll taunts as long as it's on our Zorro dice. And we can use that an unlimited amount of times. We do have maximum 3 equipment we can have. Only one of these can be premium though. So we can use a hero die. Since we know we need leaps or dashes, we are going to take a green die and to roll for this. So there we have 1 dash, 2 leaps, and a whole lot of taunts and a thrust. So we will re-roll these, hoping for a green. We did not get it. So 1 last try. And there we go. So we got a dash. We've completed a red heroic quest. And more importantly, now we have a rope so we can re-roll our taunts on our Zorro dice. Now I'm going to choose to go concoct a remedy. So we need 2 dashes and 2 grabs, and that will get us a hat with a charm. Since we need 2 dashes, I'll go ahead and keep that heroic dice. We've got our 6 Zorro dice and the 1 dash heroic. So right off the bat, we've got 2 grabs we need and 1 dash. And we can re-roll our taunts. So save those, pick these up and re-roll them. Which got us 2 leaps that we don't need. So now we're going for our second roll. Once again, we can re-roll our taunts, looking for 1 dash, and there we got it. So we've just concocted a remedy. So that's going to do 2 things for us. Since it's our second red, we will collect the red hero die. And we also have a hat, which is going to give us an automatic charm. And then that's going to trigger us. We have a round to take on a scoundrel. And the top one here are the enforcers. So we're going to need 3 charms and 1 thrust, and we may not use equipment to re-roll dice. So our rope is not going to be of any use to us, so we'll go ahead and just turn that over. So we're taking on the enforcers. So if we win this, we'll get a premium equipment, and if we lose it, we just lose the opportunity for the premium equipment. So since I can use a hero die no one's claimed, we're going to go for the other red one. And we've got another red one because of those, and our 6 Zorro dice. And we made that with the first roll, so we can use that there. Those 2 red on that one, and use our hat for the third one. So the enforcers have been defeated, which means we get a premium equipment. So we found ourselves a sword. So up to 2 of our swords we roll are wild. And since our limit is 3 equipment, I think I'm just going to get rid of our reroll, which technically goes on the bottom of the deck. So our options, we can go get our third one of the red ones, which will trigger going after the villain. Or we can try to strengthen our cards by going after some blue ones, which I think I want to do. I think the dagger will work good with our sword because it provides us one of the sword symbols or thrust that we can use as a wild. And it's just not going to hurt to get some more blue dice. So I think we are going to interrupt the firing squad. So we need 2 dashes, 2 grabs, and that's going to get us a dagger to go along with our sword. Let's put this down here. Got our base 6 heroic dice and our red one, and we still get to choose another one that's not being used. We'll go for the one that's going to help us with grabbing. So there's our 2 grabs. Now we just need 2 dashes. Our second reroll. There's 1 dash. And this is specific to our Zorro dice. So this is a heroic dice, so we can't use that as a wild. So it looks like we've got 1 more roll here to try to get a green dash. And we succeeded with that. So we get our first blue heroic quest. And we're going to swap out our dagger for the hat. Collect our dice. Put that one back. And now, let's see. I think we're going to go adopt an orphan. So the cape's really not going to help us because it gives us a dash. But getting this will get us another blue dice. So we need 2 charms and 2 grabs. For our torch, we will grab another one of these grabby dice. And for our first roll, we've got 2 grabs we can use. We have 1 thrust we can use as a wild. And we go ahead and use this other thrust as a wild if we wanted to. We'll go ahead and roll and see if we can get a red. So there we go. We've adopted an orphan, which is going to get us our second blue card, which will trigger us getting that permanently. We'll go ahead and return that one off, and we get to start a fight with a scoundrel. This one is we have bounty hunters, so we may only roll 3 dice on our first roll. And of course, we need 3 blues or leaps and a thrust. We're going to use our torch to bring in that one. And with the 3 dice we can roll on our first roll because of his ability, we'll go with the 2 blues and 1 regular die. So there's 2 leaps. And for a second roll, we can bring in all the dice. And there's our other leap and the thrust. So we have taken on the bounty hunter, which means we get another premium equipment. So this one's a trap. Before your first roll, set a die to any value. And that would be replacing our sword. And that's tough since these play off each other. I think I'll just keep what I've got and go ahead and discard that one. And of course we did get a cape, but I really don't want that one. We'll discard that. Now, all these are just going to trigger the final battle. So we'll just go try to D-Pants a tax collector. So we need 2 thrusts and 2 taunts. We'll return that die. Just for fun, we'll take the green one. We haven't rolled one of those yet. So we've got our base 6 dice. The blue we've got because of 2 locations. Red because of 2 locations. And the green because of our torch. And that's not such a good roll. So we've got 1 thrust. Go ahead and re-roll these. That gives us another thrust, which we're going to use as a wild. Then one more roll. So once again, we'll use this as a wild and our dagger for the other spot. So we have Depanted a tax collector, which is going to be our third red, which is going to trigger us getting our second red die to use. And now we are going to face off against a villain. So we've got the medium here. So the ability is you choose one of your dice to not use this turn. We're going to return our green. We've got our basic 6 dice. The 2 reds for the 3 locations, the 1 blue for those 2. And of course I could have chosen to take the hat, but we'll go ahead and discard that. We'll use the torch for the yellow, and we are going to choose not to roll the yellow. So 3 rolls, we need to get 4 charms and 1 taunt. And I guess we can just do it on 1 roll, because that's how awesome we are. Sometimes the dice just work for us. So there's our 4 charms, and we can use the thrust as a wild. And as such, we have proven our worth to the current Zorro that we can take over the mantle. So that's the basics of how to play the solo version of the Zorro Dice Game. As always, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.